What's up, one I Wonder fans? Hopefully y'all are having a great day. This video is hopefully y'all are enjoying today's day. Hopefully some of y'all seen the not race champions I want to say. Hopefully y'all seen today's heard of the gosh, listen to the USA BMX National going on in South Carolina. Brooke Crane brought home, she doubled down today. She brought home yesterday's win and she brought home today's win. Super stoked for that chick. She's an amazing athlete. So is Elise. Don't get me wrong, they're both great. All the girls are great athletes. If one person that wasn't there was Caroline Buchanan. If she was there, I would have to say Caroline Buchanan would have won the USA BMX both days. She probably, it would have been a good race between her and Brooke. Even maybe Elise too, because Elise was up there in the mix today as well. But I don't know what happened with Elise on the first round. Elise had a pretty good gate, and then next thing you know is she stopped. And I was kind of confused about that for a bit. Because I didn't see nothing wrong. I didn't see a chain snap or anything. But she didn't have no technical bike problems or anything. But I think if Elise really would have put down a power and stuff, she would have taken home today's win. Not saying Brooke that shouldn't have won, but just the way I see some of the riders ride today, it's just crazy how they all ride that well. So hopefully everyone's having a great day though. Hopefully no serious injuries to any of the riders today. So let's kick it off. Hopefully this is a good season for all the Team USA for World Championship. Hopefully we can get 3 guys up on podium this year at the World Finals. Which I would like to see Connor Fields, Nick Long, and Corbin Sherraw. Those three guys are the top of their game and stuff. But it's going to be a challenging thing because Maris didn't make his main last year at the World Finals. So it might be different. So I think Maris might be the one that might bring home the World Championship. But if he doesn't, then I would like to see Team USA bring home the gold. Hopefully I get to see some of my buddies out there today. Hopefully they're all going to be hopefully they're going to do good this year. Not saying they didn't do good last year. Nick brought home the bronze last year. Let's see if we can have Nick. Hopefully Nick Long can bring home the world title. But just overall, this weekend was a pretty stacked weekend. Like BMX Complimation said on Twitter. Let me just go back. It was a pretty insane racing. And jeez, like they said, it was insane. Like they just said, like BMX Comp was this past weekend a national because it seems like to me that it was more like a mini grand. There was over 676 motos, I want to say, that were out there. But they were pretty stacked motos. That's all I can say. from not being there, just from listening to it, it kind of sucked not being there to race it with your friends and knowing there's a lot more people that are going to be out there trying for worlds. I see it as a opportunity for me to progress in my sports and to bring home, maybe next year, hopefully, bring home a world title with the great team I'm on. The way my team is, right, with the team I'm riding on, I love the team. It's a family team that I would never get tired of. I would love to be on that team for as long as I can until probably a factory team comes along. So a lot of this team bonding, right, is incredible. So hopefully in May I can get them to jump on in on one of these live broadcasts. Hopefully like I said, you'll become family within seconds, meeting new people, going around the world, meeting better people every time. It's just one of those moments that you will never get tired of. And I enjoyed every step of every time I go to nationals. It never gets old with me and my friends. We just sit there every weekend talking trash to each other, trying to push each other to the next level, trying to push each other to become better than what we were before. And I know I probably talked about this before, but it is one of those things. Like my buddy Zach, he's 15 or 16x, and we push each other to do things that we're not comfortable with. And it's funny because I'm a level below him, but we still run our mouths like we're in the same age group in class and stuff, but we're really not. We're in two different age groups in a different class, or different difficulty in our riding. But it's just amazing how me and him push each other. He'll hit me up saying, "Hey, are you gonna come to the whatchamacallit tonight?" Because me and him usually go help out to give back to the BMX community. We go out there and help newer riders to progress them, help them understand the sport a little bit better, teach them the different ways to make sure your body's still in shape, your way to eat, different. But we pretty much work with them on technique and timing. Not much of eating and stuff. That's pretty much what my coach does, is teach me how to eat, what I should be eating properly, what things I shouldn't do. I know me and my buddy, we both train so hard. I know I've been training like crazy. I just went to the gym about earlier, and I went in and did some shoulder shrugs and bench press, trying to build up the upper body strength. As you can see, that my upper body strength is not that good. And I've been with the team I'm on now. Like I said before, I keep on bringing up the team. This sport is an individual sport, but if you really are dedicated to this sport, people will see that and want you on the team if you're determined to put in the effort and put in the work. I've had teams want me because I'm an inspiration to the kids and stuff, and I told people I'm not here to be on a team for an inspiration. I'm out here to race and help do a team bond thing and become better than what I was before. And like I said, I set my goals so high. My super main goal is to make the Olympic Games in 2024, which is back in Los Angeles, California. But if I don't keep on going if I don't keep on racing and training the way I go now, where I will not be there by 2024. Maybe my goal is to hit 2020 Olympics. But I don't know if I'll be able to make that goal because it all depends on the person. If you're that determined to win, you put in the work, you put in the time, and train. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter and stuff. To me, it doesn't matter. I had my results. My results to me, if I'm training that hard and trying to prove myself to the if what I'm trying to say is, if I don't come, my results are racing. If my results are coming out of the gate strong, being in the out front of the group, leading the pack. But right now, I've been out. I was out for about 6, 7 months because I had a crash where it led me out for good few months. And that crash actually really made me open my eyes and made me realize that, wow, that could have been worse. That really could have just led to the end of my racing career, actually. But no, it didn't, because I realized I couldn't do better than let that happen. And so I decided to train and become better than what I was before, and not be as vulnerable to a crash than anything. I train hard to become better and a lot more confident in my riding. The way I ride now, it's just it's garbage. And my coach even says the way I ride is garbage. And it made me realize I need to start training. I need to start pushing myself to the extent. And it's true, because I never did push myself to the extent. I never pushed myself to where my body's aching so bad. Now that I'm in 19 to 27, and realizing that this is no joke. This is the legit stuff of racing, and this is a part of it that you have to understand and are willing to do. To me now, it seems like me racing, it's, to me, now that I'm riding harder and a lot better than I was before, it made me open my eyes and realize that there's so many people that try to bring you down. But you know what? The funny thing is, people think they bring me down so easy, but they don't. I just keep it in me, and as soon as I get into the gate, all that anger and frustration, stress, and all that goes into my energy into the racing, more than me stressing about what's going on in my life and stuff. And people are like, where? And it's the funny thing is, usually when I have that happen, I don't try to keep it bottled in. It's not good to bottle your emotions up. But for me, it's not good at all. It just keeps a lot of stress on you. But if you really think about it and really try, you'll be able to progress in what you got to do in anything. It's funny because me and my brother have this little talk about things and so does my dad and my mom. We all talk about this and talk about my results in racing over dinner, or how I felt during racing today, how my results were in the riding the track. Because all these tracks, a lot of these tracks I've raced when I race, I have not raced a lot of these tracks. There's a track in Las Cruces I never raced. Duke City I've raced all the time now, since that's my local track. And I try to not let people get in my head. When I race, it's race day, I have music going. I keep my mind, my mental game. I try to keep my mental game. And it's, people say, oh, it's all about physical. All sports are not physical. Unless you're talking about football, basketball, all that and stuff. Yeah, those are physical sports. But 99% of this, 50%, like 75% of all the sports are mental. And 25% of the sports are physical. This is what my dad and I talk about. This is what my dad told me. And it's true. After being such hard-headed and not realizing what's there and how hard it is, you gotta realize you gotta mentally prepare. Not physically, mentally. Because if you don't mentally prepare, I pretty much say throw on the towel, it's game over. Me, with that, I don't want to play game over. I'd much rather have bring it on. What I see is I pretty much bring it on and try my hardest each and every time, no matter what. If I had a crash in first round, I come back and try to blow out everyone else out the gate. I have so many things that I want to accomplish, but you know what? You always get that group of friends that will never let you fail. They'll always keep on pushing you until you succeed, or we move on. We don't move on until we succeeded. I pretty much, that's how I am. I never used to jump dirt jumps ever, and I used to go out there every day, just hitting the little sections, barely getting over. Now my buddies are like, "Hey, move on up. We can hit this in a train." All right, we hit it. I started hitting it, man. I started clearing them, and they're like, "Pick up your back feet." And I've been working, and every time I go out and ride, that's where I go, and that's my training ground. It's helped me to work on my timing, on jumping. Really. Oh, this jerk. Sorry. No, but like I said, it doesn't matter. It's pretty much 75% mental and 25% physical. BMX, it's a mental game. If you got your mindset to win, then you're gonna win. If you're worried about who's in your moto, I used to be like that. I used to be, who's in my moto? Oh, I got so and so. They're pretty good. Well, you know what? I'm better than them. That's how my mentality is. I'm better than that person. I'm not gonna let them win. I'm gonna hold my line and take the win. And it's not about who's in your moto. It's how hard you've been riding to become where you're at in your racing. It shouldn't matter if you're if you come in last and it's first round. Don't worry, you got to. You keep your mindset. It shouldn't matter if you're in first, your last place, whatnot. Are you out there having fun? If you had fun that day, then it was a good day. For me, as being an older class, it's kind of sucks because a lot of people really think, oh, you're in an older class, and you're gonna. It's all about. For me, it kind of is about winning, but then again, it's not. It's about how much you enjoy having fun and how much you enjoy being able to hang out with your friends on the weekend you're going out to that national. I'm actually excited for May because I haven't raced a national since, gosh, I want to say last year, back in May. May was my last national of last year. So it's going to be a year since I've raced a national. And that's insane for me because I'm usually racing, I've probably would have raced 2 nationals already. 1 in January for, or 3 nationals for a matter of fact, actually. I would have raced, I would have raced Arizona, which was pretty much my birthday weekend. Or no, Vegas would have been my first national. Second national would have been, second national would have been Winter National, which is a mud fest. I've heard every year. Third national would have been. Hold on, let's see. After this run, I will pull my magazines. But no, like I said, these nationals are the things that really a lot of the sponsorships are looking for, seeing if you're actually able to win these nationals, if you're able to keep up with the guys. Me, I've raced experts most of the time. I've raced girls, guys, which is pretty back at my local track in Manteca. That's who I used to race. Kyle Tim, Danielle Hall, Austin Doty, and then sometimes I get thrown up with 41, 45 eyes, 46 and over eye, and then I'll get thrown in with Carl, guys I know, people I know that I've raced. I would get thrown in with Carl, Dennis, and all them. These guys are experts, and they're like, and I'm right there with them. I can hang with these guys, even though they're older than me and they're a lot faster than I am. I'm able to try to keep up with them. I'll be able to still be in the pack with them. And it's just about holding your line. That's all that matters, is holding your line. Last year in Grands, or 2 years ago in Grands, as a novice, I didn't know anything about holding lines at all. I just went out, try to push people high to make sure I can get on the inside on the next round to be able to do it again. Because that's, well, depends on what line I'm hitting. So, it was main event time I had to go back second round, take main event. So me and my friends, I was riding around to keep my legs warmed up because it was cold. Main event rolled around. It was game time. It was crunch time pretty much. This was gonna determine who wins the who has bragging rights for 17-18 novice. And day before, I had a good gate, came out in the lead. I got pinched out of the gate, coming out of the gate. We were all right next to each other. I was in a bit of a pool. I pulled him a bit. And I started coming down the first straight. Oh, we got to the first jump. Everyone was right next to me by the first jump because at that time, the first jumps were my weakness. Kind of still is, but I'm starting to progress on those. And I got bar banged, and I ended up going down. So my foot got caught in between my seat post and my frame, so I couldn't get up right away. So everyone pulled ahead of me. And then as soon as I crossed the finish line, I got word that from what happened and stuff, I didn't really care. Things happen. If they were trying to crash me, they tried to crash me. Whatever, it worked. They got it. And then second round came in, took second, or was it second or first? I don't remember. But then main event rolled around. I had lane 7, and or was it? Yeah, lane 7 because I had lane 2 in round 1. And then it was a full gate for my first actually novice race. But then again, I ended up having a good gate, pulling out in front of everyone for first round, but crashing on the first jump. Got back up, finished the race. Round 2 came around on Sunday. We raced it. It was me and another California person made it to the main event. So we both made our main event. I came in. Then I ended up going down again in mains because I kind of got greedy. I was holding a good line. And I went to go try to move up in a position. And if I would have just held my line, I would have caught him in the rhythm. Rhythm section's one of my strengths. But I end up going down, getting back up, taking a 7th overall. I was bummed out because I didn't really want to take a 7th. I wanted to be in the top 3, top 5. I made a dumb decision on a move that I shouldn't have done. But now that I realize, you know what, we make mistakes, we learn from them, we turn those mistakes into goals, and we turn those goals into achievements. So, like I said, it doesn't matter if you've wrecked once or twice. I've had plenty of wrecks. So, like I said before, we got the national schedule right here. Like I said, I would have had at least 3, maybe 4 nationals in already. I would have had the Silver Dollar National if I would have went Winter Nationals, which is in Phoenix, Arizona, and Silver Dollars in Las Vegas. So the Silver Dollar National is the kickoff of the national season. Then we got Phoenix, which is the Winter National, which is the kickoff for the Pro Series. Those would have been the 2 that I would have went to. Great Northwest is actually next week, which I would have went and done Oregon, but not gonna make that one. Lone Star I was originally supposed to do at the end of this month, but things happened. Not going to make that one, and that was the last chance for me to qualify for World Championships. I'm not going to be able to make that one either, so I got to wait until all the way to May, which is Spring National, which is here in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Duke City Bmx. Hopefully that following month in June 9th, 10th, and 11th, I might go to Salt Lake City. Depends. But maybe in July I'm going to see if we can hit up Vegas National. And mind you, as a novice, I was racing. I don't think I've ever told this story. But in 2015, my first full season, I broke my right clavicle in July, and of course, it was my first national. And I had to qualify for my first qualification at a national and my first heat win at a national. So second round came around, ended up coming out and putting a first in for second round. Then I came back, threw a fist pump over in second round at the finish line, threw a fist pump, went over my bars, cap of the handlebars went right in my right side of my shoulder. Broke my clavicle. Ended up going to a trauma center because they thought the paramedics there did not know what they were talking about. But the Vegas National is a memorable national for me. If I don't go to that one, then I'm going to see if we can go to the Mile High National in Grand Junction, Colorado. But from what I've heard, or hopefully from what I've talked to my parents with, because my dad races as well, we're just trying to get things situated with him. He wants to do a couple of nationals, and he wants to go to Grands with when I go and stuff. Usually I go to Grands. I was supposed to go last year because I qualified for Race of Championships, but I did not end up going because funds and me trying to get there in hotel. So this year, me and my dad are planning on going. I don't know if my mom and them are going to go too. But I know I want to go hit up the Blackjack National. I got family out in Nevada for Reno, so they want to come out and check it out. So I'm gonna try to talk to them about that one, and then maybe we're gonna hit up the Las Vegas and Mile High National, one of those two. But Spring National, I'm definitely gonna be hitting up for sure because that's my team's coming out and we're gonna have a great time. So if y'all want to know more about what I do, like I said, my Instagram's down below in the description, and so is my. If you want to hit me up on Twitter. Sorry, I'm Twitter. I call it Twitter. I don't know, but it's just what me and my friends call it. It's an inside joke. But it is. Hold on. Twitter is. So that's my Twitter right there. We're still live. All right. But like I said, that's my Twitter below. If you all want to ask me questions, you free to answer. I'll be happy to answer them. Sorry, I can't talk right now. And I get these magazines called Pool Magazines. Once you sign up for USA BMX for a full membership, this is what you'll get every month. Again, so pretty much it's 40 years for the USA BMX, and of course we got two of the guys that I know personally. I want to say that's not KP. That's either my boy Cameron Moore or whatnot. I don't know on the front too. But no, we got Tristan Judd on the front, 1718X. That guy's fast. So is a couple other guys I know. KP's pretty fast, which is Kevin Paul. Cameron Moore, who just went up to A Pro. By the way, congrats, brother, on getting that win out there in Rock Hill, or second. It wasn't a win, wasn't it? Was it a win? I don't remember. Either it was a win or second place. But man, that was 1 hour race, man. So hopefully, I don't know how my boy Dustin Hammond did today or yesterday, because he did the Super X-Men. Haven't heard anything about that. He's a great rider too. He's one of my good friends. All the guys that I raced with and trained with are all good friends of mine. They're great guys. They're like Dustin and Cameron. They're like brothers to me. Every time we all see each other, we're like, "What's up, man?" We always talk to each other every day. I used to train with Dustin and him in the air. When we used to hang out, we used to go out every time. He was at the track. We always hit each other up, wondering what's the next race we're gonna hit, or what pro-am we're gonna hit. I haven't done any pro-ams yet. I would like to. It'd be great for me to do one just to get a feel for it. My family and all of them, they're not too fond about it because I'm not that fast. To me, I tell them how I see it. All the pro-ams, you have to be expert in 15 and over to be able to go ahead and race it. But some tracks do throw on mini-ams, which is amateur for intermediates and novices, and maybe some experts. But I've experienced a couple of mini-ams myself. Actually, no, just one. Take that back. Because it was me and my dad. We went out to Prunedale, California for a race. I think it was a double pointer or just a regular race, single point race. But they had a mini-am. They're like, yeah, it's just $10. So I was like, why not? Let's get it. I want to get a feel for it. Man, and it was a great race. I enjoyed it. For my first time racing a mini-am like pro-am style, it was great. I was always ready to go up there and race and stuff. It was great. That's actually where I met Alex Fott and Curtis Garlick. That was actually my first race I've actually met those guys. It's insane though, because those guys are pretty fast. I haven't talked to them in, by golly, so long. But those guys are fast. Those guys are like my good friends. I haven't talked to any of them in a while. Like I said before, a lot of us went our separate ways and stuff after so many years. A lot of us don't talk no more. It's insane. But we see each other at races sometimes. So they're all asking me when I'm going to come out and ride at such and such and stuff. Like Powell or Prunedale or whatnot. I told them as soon as I can. I've been trying to go back out to California to visit and get some training in with my team. And it's just like, I love it though. It's just a great sport atmosphere. I say it's better than some of the other sports I've watched, I've been around. For some sports, it's great. Never really felt a great atmosphere like this with the sports I've done. The only other sport I felt that way was bull riding, and that's one other sport I like to do. Not do, but be around as well, because I've grown up watching the rodeo lifestyle. Kind of a little bit of the way I've been throughout my life. I've grown up around that stuff, so kind of one thing that I kind of learned throughout the years is never really disrespect anyone or anyone at all. So, but it's just pretty much, like I said, is just a atmosphere of sports. But it shouldn't matter if it's sports or whatnot. It's all just about, and if you're enjoying the sports, and I know I'm enjoying the sports as I experience new ones. But I actually enjoy seeing all the faces at the nationals. Everyone knows me pretty much, and every time I go to a national, one of the announcers knows me real well because he announces at Oak Creek BMX every weekend. He's not doing a national. My man Eric Grindle, who was on the mic earlier today, doing the elite men and women and vet pros and double A pros. Man, he's always asking. Every time he does a live stream, he sees my name pop up. He's like, One-Eyed Wonder, what's up, buddy? He's like, how's that New Mexico lifestyle? Always is. I always enjoyed it. Every time I see him out there, he's like, what's up, man? He asks me how I'm doing or whatnot. You create bonds with everyone. It's crazy how fast you meet so many new people and how many people you meet and from all over the world. We had people from Colombia actually out at the USA BMX racing today. So it's insane. It's insane how many people you meet throughout the entire life. And I enjoy it so much. It never gets old or anything. And it pumps me up every time I see new faces. Because even if it's little guys and girls that never raced before, that they're at their first national, they ask me, though I have kids come up to me, ask me, what happened to your eye? And you raced with one eye? And I tell them, yeah, it's how much you have in your heart and determination you have for the sport. That's all that matters, is if you have the drive for it. If you have the drive for it, you're eager to prove to your friends and your family, your sponsors, all that you're not willing to give up until you succeeded that much more than anything. And I look at it and just see that how many people actually look up to me. A lot of people look up to me because of me going through what I've gone through. And it actually touches me and makes me want to become a better racer, not lose my temper. I've lost my temper before at nationals because of the results of my results of racing. And I regret it. Every time I go out to a national, if I lose my cool, I regret it. Because I know I have little ones walking around listening to what I'm saying or watch what I do. They watch us as we ride. No one realizes it, but when you look around and you see all the eyes on you especially at a big national like the Grands, you got thousands and thousands of eyes on you watching you race. And you don't realize it until after you cross that line, saying, wow, and then you slapping your hands on your bars because you didn't get first. That's it's not poor. I don't say it's kind of poor sportsmanship, but then again, you realize you can't always win everything. And I realize that so many people don't get the sports. Some of us don't get sportsmanship, and some of us don't understand it. A lot of us that race now, we tell each other, hey, way to go, man, that was a great run. We all give each other props and tell each other that we did good. We don't put one another down. We always keep each other up. When we see someone down or injured, we stop. If we're in the middle of a race, we don't, and there's a crash. Sometimes some of us we don't stop. We actually keep racing. Like I said before, in August I hadn't raced for 6 months. The reason why, because I had an accident where it knocked me. I was unconscious and I sprained my wrist pretty good that I didn't know if I broke it or not. And my buddy Roy, he was like, man, I did not know if he's seen me just noodle over the first jump at Oak Creek BMX. That's one thing you never want to see someone is getting unconscious and just lay there and just roll over a jump like a noodle. That's one thing you never want to see from a friend of yours. You know what that was for me though? That was a life learned experience and a lesson. You push yourself, you take the risk at getting hurt. You take the risk at maybe even something worse like a knockout. And I see it as not accomplishment, but not even an achievement, but a experience of taking that chance of going all out and losing it all, or going all out and trying your hardest and really hurting yourself at that point. You push yourself so hard sometimes you don't realize it, and then until it's too late sometimes to realize. We all take our chances in life that really can either push us over the edge to where we're done, or it drives us more to become what we want. If we want to become better, we work our butts off to become better. And I know that for a matter of fact, because I bust my butt out going to the dirt jumps, going to the track every time I get a chance to. To me, it doesn't matter. If pretty much like my dad tells me though, like I know I'm jumping around, but like my dad tells me, it's just a race. You got plenty more in this season to go. But these races and these seasons go by so quick. You're racing 1 minute, boom, you're done. You're done within 40 seconds of racing. You're there for about 45 minutes of racing or an hour or so. To me, it doesn't matter. You win, you win. You lose. You win some, you lose some. It doesn't really sometimes appeal to what you think you know, but we think we know everything about racing. But you know what? Maybe our parents have raced before while we weren't even born. They might know more stuff than we know. And you know what? I kind of regret it sometimes that I always blew my dad off and thinking he was full of shit. You know what? And that's why sometimes I do listen to my dad, but other times when it comes to like nationals and stuff like that and worlds, I'm trying to mainly focus on what I need to do. And my dad and we've butt heads over talking about BMX racing before. And it's kind of dumb because some of us work so hard to become where we are. And I know I work hard training every day and trying to dial in what I need to progress in. And every time I talk to my coach, she's like, and I'll post videos on Instagram of what I'm doing, see if I'm doing it right. Then I'll get comments from my buddies like, hey, you need to roll your wrist forward, or you need to time it right. You're a little late on it. I'm like, I know I'm late on my manuals. My timing's off on my manuals for sure. But my wrist, I'm working on my wrist, trying to work on my wrist to keep them rolled forward. Because you don't get nowhere from having your wrist folded back like a folded lawn chair. You work so hard to realize that it really does matter to how you ride, and it shows it. And if you, sorry, I'm all over the place right now. It's just like you need to get your pretty much like how I'm saying, how my buddies are always commenting saying, hey, you need to roll your wrist forward, or you need to do this, you need to do that. You know what? That's why I go on my bike every day and working on my jumps, because that's where I work on my manuals and try to keep my wrist forward. Funny thing is, when I race, I try to keep my wrist forward as possible, but it always doesn't work out. It doesn't matter how hard you try on keeping something you need to do forward, but it will come and go. You will gain new experiences and you will lose your bad habits. You might fall back on some of the bad habits you had before, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You either take that chance at whatchamacallit, at achieving things. Me, I've had my chances. I've had chances where I've had my chances at doing better when I should when I was doing worse, I was actually doing better than what I was before. When I think I'm doing worse, when I did the worst race of my race, my parents are like, dude, that's your best race you've done all season. This is actually one of my plaques right here. Race of Champions, which was my first year of a full race season. And funny thing is, I went out and raced my first race back in February. And there was a college out there called Fort Lewis Cycling College. And they're like, man, they're like wondering what happened to my eye and stuff. But you know what? They're really stoked to actually talk to me. Because they're like, man, they were watching me ride as well. They're like, man, you ride real well. And you have the passion to progress yourself. You are pretty good at what you do. So I've been thinking, people actually want me on their team because of the way I ride and how determined I am. Like with my coach Freddie, they wanted me on their team so bad because I was determined to show what I can do and not give up. And I know that for a fact that I wanted to do that was to actually prove to my people that I will never give up. I don't like that word. I never gave up on anything. Like I said before, I didn't give up on fighting cancer, because if I gave up, I wouldn't be here today. So I pretty much see myself as pushing myself and doing better than what I was doing before. And it's crazy how many people actually see potential in me racing and progressing what I do. It's funny because people are like, I've had people ask me, man, can you do it? It's not hard at all. It's just about you working on your time, your timing, and it's just your balance. That's all it is to me, is balance. Because I have really bad balance. But you know what? That's what I used to work on my gates for. I used to work on my gates every time. because my balance what's the worst thing I ever had. But you know what? I had people teach me how to actually work on my balance and actually work on things that I needed to work on. And so I talked to pros and asked them, hey, what do you guys do for balance? And they're like, we use the exercise ball and what was it? It was an exercise ball and trying to hold their body weight up. So I was like, okay. And I looked it up, man. I tried it once and I could not do that. That showed you how much my balance was off. And so I started doing wall sits, squats. Squats are the main thing that really helped me out with my balance. And now my balance, it's still shaky, but it's improving as we go each and every year. And my coach Freddie, he pushes me even when even though I'm not at his place training, he pushes me. Even tells me, man, you know what? We joke around and he's like, you know what? You need to work on this and this. And he sends me exercises and I do them actually. And I go to the gym, do those exercises, try what I need to do to better myself. And I realize my coach, he pushes me so much that, yeah, it hurts. But you know what? In the end, it shows when you come out and race, it shows how much you're determined to win much more. Shows you how much you're not going to give up. So, you know what? I told my friends that I told my buddy, you know what? He was trying to hook me up he wanted me to go to Factory Throwdown. I told him, I already signed a deal with No Excuses. He's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. He wasn't too happy about it, but I was like, you know what? This team's been they've been waiting for me to join their team for a while. I told him, I have not had a team want me on their team so bad and actually wait for me to join it. And you know what? I've grown a bond with this team throughout the years, being at nationals and seeing them there. And yeah, wasn't it wasn't my first thought. And then I went to my first team was actually not No Excuses, but was Chaos, NorCal Chaos. I was on them for a year. Then after that, I dropped them and went to Robbie's Bicycle Shop, which was a bike shop team. We were a good team. We worked together and made sure we were all working on what we needed to work on at practice. Then as soon as I moved, I changed teams. I called my now coach. Hey, Freddie, told him I would like to join No Excuses. So November rolls around. My bike was still in pieces. I didn't get a really good. I put it. Actually, no, my bike was not in pieces. I just needed to get a rim set and tires. No tubes, and I would have been good. And they came out this way for the Grand Nationals in November. And I get it, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Man, yeah, I have this little girl that wants to join, and we joke around about that all the time. We talk about each other, tell each other, hey, we need to do this. Don't be a and or whatnot. And we all just sit there. Me and him just sit there and laugh. We just joke around so much, and now and his it's pretty much a family sport. Family. We're not just a team. We're a family. How we put it, it's true. We are a family when it comes down to nationals. When it comes down to the team and racing, we're a family. We don't give up. We don't let each other down. We keep each other. We push each other to the extent. And man,